This program is brought to you by the friends and partners of Elijah's Path to Healing Foundation.
Excited to see Grace.
There's rarely a day you won't find these two here.
Hi, baby.
Tracy and Elijah Boone love horses.
Horses can understand your emotions. They respond to it.
But their connection with the animals didn't begin in a barn.
All I remember is a lot of hospital visits.
It began 7 years ago.
Just coming in and out of hospital rooms.
With a goodbye.
Back in 2012, we lost our fairy tale. We lost our happily ever after when my husband, Reed Boone, died of a horrible brain disease.
It happened suddenly, 2 days before Christmas. Elijah was 6 years old.
Pain, sadness, anger, fear. All of the bad feelings and none of the good.
In their time of grief, support and resources were difficult to find.
The hospice therapist handed me a stack of brochures. I looked at the brochures, and after everything that we had been through, I'm looking at my 6-year-old son, and I couldn't picture him in an office right out of the gate. I just couldn't picture it. But I looked through the brochures, and I fumbled on a man and a horse on the brochure, and went, I can picture him with a horse.
Fast forward almost 7 years and hundreds of trips to the barn.
When I actually fell asleep on top of a horse while riding it, that's what their heartbeat does to you. It calms you down so much.
Tracy and Elijah's path to healing has been forged by resilience and horses.
Yeah, good boy.
And they're bringing that healing to others through their nonprofit, Elijah's Path to Healing Foundation.
So that's what this is all about, helping people get through some tough times.
For next,
with this gorgeous, gorgeous animal.
I'm Lori Lizarraga.
In 2012, we felt like we lost our happily ever after when my husband
and my dad died of a brain disease 2 days before Christmas. I was only 6 years old.
There have been a lot of twists and turns on our path to healing. Now we are on a quest to help others like you get on your own path to healing and teach everyone who watches how to do James 1:27 that God calls pure religion in His sight, which is to care for the widows and fatherless in their times of distress. Hi, this is Tracy Boone.
And Elijah Boone.
And we are a mom and son duo out of Denver, Colorado. Actually, this is Elizabeth, Colorado. We are at a couple of friends' ranch, Tom and Sandy Corrigan, which you'll be hearing from here shortly. And we have quite a call on our life to fulfill, and we are answering it with all arms open. And our job, one of the things, Elijah, that I learned when through this process over the last 7 years is, you and I have our own perspective. And because perspective is something, it's a tricky thing. Perspective is basically what you've learned from being taught and also what you've experienced in this life. And everyone has their own perspective. That's the lens in which you look through, right, Elijah? Mm-hmm. And you and I were at a session one time, actually a therapy session, because we were working through a couple of things. And I remember this is such a significant thing. I've just been wanting to think about things, how we can help each and every one of us through this journey and do it together and do it better, right? And I remember I shared my thought on what happened in this situation that we were dealing with. And then I remember Elijah sharing it private. I shared mine privately, and then Elijah shared his. And I literally told therapist, he's lying. That's not what happened at all. And she looked at me straight on and said, you're both right. He has his perspective and you have yours. They're both right. They're both different, but they're both right. And that day really changed my vision on a lot of things. Perspective is, again, what we experience and what we are taught. But, going to a little bit farther is our belief system. Why do we believe what we believe, right? And is the source of what we believe, is it any good? And Andy Andrews described it best with perspective. Let's go back to that. Andy Andrews said, perspective is the one thing you can change without changing the facts. And so my job and Elijah's job here is to, one, ask you to examine your own perspective on things. And why do I see things the way I do? But then also challenge your belief systems as we bring on these amazing experts and guests to just kind of examine, why do I believe what I'm believing? Because your belief system is the exact reason and driving force of why you behave the way you do. And if you want to change that, if you want to change some of the behaviors that you have to elevate your thinking, and that's what this whole thing is about. We're going to have all kinds of guests across the gamut on what exactly do you need, and I'm searching in my mind and my heart, what is going to be essential, what is going to really make a difference, and we'd love to hear from you. And so as we go through this process, Elijah also has this huge assignment from the Lord to go and interview all these amazing, wonderful men across the country, because there is amazing men across this country. And we are asking them to give us words of wisdom, give him words of wisdom, and show him some things and teach him some things. And Elijah, you want to do what? You want to go. Why do you want to go and help these kids?
Because I am one of them, and I want to go help these kids because they need help.
They need help? Why do you want to do it? You said something about a sneeze not too long ago. Actually, it's really funny. You got to hear this.
You'll see a little earlier on the show that it's like a sneeze, and I just have to let it out.
It's a sneeze. You just have to do it, right?
Uh-huh.
Right. So my son and I are on a quest to help the widows and the fatherless across this country and the globe. And, all we want to do is make a difference in your life. So our job is to unite lives to make a difference in your life. And we just ask you to examine yourself, examine your belief systems, and we challenge you to do that because we want everyone to live a great and abundant life. And why Jesus died on that cross, the finished works of Jesus is what it's about. The Path to Healing Elijah's Path to Healing Foundation is the foundation that that supports this actual broadcast, and the Path to Healing show is what we have now started, and this is for you. The path is literally the path that Jesus Christ has led us on, that he is the way, the truth, and the life. And so we just thank you. We just thank you for watching, and we have a lot in store for you today, so stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back. We are at Sanctuary Ranch, and you've seen these beautiful horses on our opening video and welcoming to the show. And why don't you go ahead? This is my friend Sandy Corrigan, and she is the owner, her and her husband, of this amazing ranch here in Denver, or Elizabeth, Colorado. Not Denver, Colorado.
Close to Denver.
Close to Denver. Who is this?
So this is our sweet Kamama. Her name's really Kamala, but she's a mama. So our 2-year-old grandson named her Kamama, which we kind of like. She's a 6-year-old Golden Dun, and she's more my horse. We have a beautiful chocolate Rocky Mountain that my husband rides, and so one of our 3 horses at Sanctuary Ranch.
One of your 3, that's
Yes.
right. Because you had an addition recently.
Yes, we got surprised, and Camilla became a single mom in June. Very appropriate to what we're talking about, right? And so we have a 5-month-old baby boy who's actually being weaned right now somewhere else. So, baby blue.
Sandy is very special to both Elijah and myself and her husband and this ranch. They have been just a mainstay for us, a lean post, as you might want to say. We do a lot of work out here. We do have a lot of fun out here, and the horses are a big piece of that.
Yes.
That is how you and I met.
That is how we met, yes.
Elaine Davis is a wonderful woman, and she's the founder and the creator of this. And so Sandra called up Elaine, and Elaine said, hey, there's a lady named Tracy living in Denver, Colorado. We met for coffee, and then what did we do?
So then we decided,
I mean, we never do this.
We decided to get certified in the work. I mean, you'd already been through one workshop, but my husband, Tom, who you'll meet, and I decided to, it was really kind of just to fly to Texas and spend a weekend at this beautiful ranch learning how to listen to God, how to listen to the Holy Spirit, and partner with horses to do this work, to bring healing and hope to people. And so we got to experience that.
Yeah, and then we went to coffee one day in
Yes.
Southlands, and you asked me what? We had known each other an hour, and we had such a strong connection. But where were you headed that following weekend?
So that was over a Labor Day weekend, and I was actually headed to the Pirelli complex in Pagosa Springs because I'd been watching a lot of videos and learning. And just felt really the prompting of the Holy Spirit to say, Tracy, want to come? And another friend of mine who I didn't really know very well. And we spent the weekend learning all kinds of things and becoming friends.
And what's so incredible about this is Sandy was the person who I was with when the Lord gave me the vision for this foundation. It was 3 years ago, believe it or not, I think 3 years ago. And this is a very busy summit, and the one moment that I had by myself, it was the most incredible place in Pagosa Springs. It's absolutely amazing. If you ever get a chance to experience it, I highly suggest it.
One of the most beautiful places in the whole state.
Right?
Yeah.
And
gorgeous.
I'm on the side of this mountain. There's all these horses everywhere, so I'm already in my own heaven. And all of a sudden I just really felt led in my heart. I just felt the Spirit of the Lord on me that said, you need to start a foundation called Elijah's Path to Healing Foundation. I really gave me that weekend. I don't know if you remember
Yes, do you remember Cheryl and I were standing there, I think, getting a drink or doing
walked through
something
your
like
thing,
this,
yeah.
and you ran up to us, and do you remember the first thing you said?
No, tell me, because it was such a profound moment for me. It was
You said, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. And we're like, what have you got?
And I shared the vision, and I immediately came back and started to go to work and started up the 501c3, did the paperwork. We're now 3 years later. We're starting this
3 years.
amazing.
It's amazing. How time
We just had
flies.
our board retreat. I have an amazing advisory board as well as a working board, and I just can't say enough about how much I appreciate you.
When I came to Colorado in 2000, I came here with my car and my clothes, and I was going through divorce, and I think that, you know, there might be people watching and you've not lost a spouse through death, but it's painful as when you lose a spouse in a divorce, and it's really painful for your kids too, because it's like a death. And so anybody out there who's been a single parent because of a divorce or because of a death, I think it feels lonely. I think I felt like people didn't treat me the same way. I felt like they didn't want to have the same level of relationship. So
Your community changes big time.
it does. And so when you and Elijah were there, you know, there was, I think, something that pricked my heart to say, I know how this feels, even though my journey was different. And in fact, my children did lose their father after we were divorced, shortly after we were divorced, from prostate cancer. And so they had to go through that grieving process, and we all did. And so the ministry that you guys are involved in to help bring hope and healing and the next chapter of life to widows and orphans is, you know, dear to Tom and I. We were both single parents. You can't come up here and eat all the alfalfa. And so, you know, I think we bonded immediately for a lot of reasons. And
It's funny how God brings the right people on your path. You just trust it. Yeah. And you look for it. And you're always astute for it. But
and it's been fun watching you guys grow in this vision, to be there at the inception, and then also to just see what's become of this. And one thing I appreciate about you guys is just your relentless pursuit after God, the humility in which you both operate to, you know, want to know how to do things with excellence and do things well and do things out of compassion and love is inspiring. So it's an honor to be your friend and be your partner and
do life together, right?
Yeah.
We have a treat. We have a very special treat. Elijah's going to be doing his segment, which is up next, with Tom Corrigan.
What was it like when you lost your dad, and what was it like moving on in your life without him?
It's a great question, Elijah. You know, I don't care how old you are, and you think that when you get older, you got plenty of time to prepare, especially as parents grow older and maybe become sick or unable to do some of the things they could earlier in life. I don't think you ever get really ready. It's still really hard on our hearts. And again, because I had this kind of two loss situation, it was really hard for me to move on. And the loss of my dad the first time, separation from him, really affected a lot of my relationships in not so good ways. In fact, some people would say, you know, it seems like you want me to be your dad. And I'm thinking, I never said that. But that's what they were picking up from me, because I had this void in my heart that I didn't know how to manage or process. And so moving on has been a process of me learning how to pay attention to what's going on and what's going on to people around me. Call it learning how to be awake and aware, right? So awareness is really what's going on inside and paying attention to that. How am I feeling today? And how are my thoughts affecting the way I feel? Because if I've decided life is always going to be crappy, there's always going to be a big loss, I'm never going to have a good life, that's going to leave me in this emotional cesspool or black hole, right? Or if I change my thoughts and go, God's got a way and a purpose for me. He's going to bring people into my life who are going to guide me and help me, and I'm going to wake up. I'm going to wake up to really what's going on, and that I can have the kind of life that I really want and desire. All of a sudden, my feelings change because my thoughts affect my feelings. Hey Elijah.
Hi.
I understand that your mom at one point gave you a blanket and you're in the middle of this whole process of loss. What was that like for you?
Oh, it was so meaningful to me. Oh, my heart was hurting that night because I was missing Dad. I think it was close to his birthday or death date, but I was actually really missing him. So Mom took a break and went out to the store and bought me this blanket.
This one right here?
Yep, this one, which was very unique because it looks like a Christmas blanket, but I've never put this away with the Christmas stuff because it's always been with me and something I've always needed throughout the years to help me move on. And one thing she said to me when she gave it, she told me that when you are ever feeling lonely, wrap this around you if I'm not available, and you can wrap this around you and it will be like a hug from Mom.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a great picture, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, how many times all of us have needed a hug from Mom or from Dad, right?
And they weren't available and
felt lonely and lost. And that's incredible. I'm so glad you've hung on to it all these years.
Yes, it's been in the family for 3 years now.
Yeah. So, speaking of blankets, I understand now that you and your mom are using blankets as a way to care for other people.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
That is called the Elijah's Path to Healing Blanket Outreach because knowing what that did for me, I wanted to do something that was exactly the same for other kids in the world. Because just in America, there's over 19 million fatherless kids that are missing their dad. So that is what we normally would need as kids. We need somebody to hug us when the person that we love the most is not available. We need something to know that we're going to be okay, and there's always going to be a tomorrow where we can put that around us, and it's going to hurt, but it's going to be okay because we have someone to be there for us.
Well said. Well said. I love that outreach you guys are doing, and that you can help us with that outreach. We can sponsor a family, sponsor a child with a one-time donation. You can be part of this organization with a monthly gift. Here's a great idea. At this segment, we're coming up to Christmas pretty quick. And what an incredible gift you can give to a family by sponsoring this. We all know people who have lost someone dear. And we're going to have information here below that you can connect and pick up one of these, pick up a half a dozen, and distribute them to people who are in need and give a significant long-term gift that lasts for years and years. And coming up right now is testimony from some young men who received a blanket, and they're going to talk about what that meant to them.
Okay, you ready? We're going to give Megan, Jason, and Connor a call and see if they got their blankets yet. Okay?
Awesome.
Okay, let's do it. Want to hit the button? All right. Thank you.
Hello,
Hello, is Megan there?
this is she.
Hey Megan, this is Tracy with Elijah's Path to Healing Foundation.
Hey, lady.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I have someone else here with me. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, buddy.
That's Elijah. He's got that deep voice now. Isn't it amazing? They grow.
Yeah, they grow.
They grow so fast. Hey, we were wondering, are the boys around?
Yeah, let me grab them real quick.
Hi, guys.
Hi, Connor and Jason. How are you doing?
Wonderful.
Did you have school? Hey, did you have school today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey, we got a question for you. Did you get your blankets yet?
Yeah.
You did? Hey, Elijah has a question.
How did it make you guys feel when you wrapped the blanket around you guys?
It's like a big warm hug from God. It makes me feel like I'm not alone in this.
That's so huge, isn't it? It's just a really big deal, isn't it? Yeah, Elijah, I remember Elijah was going through a really tough time, and that's how all of this got started, and I gave him that, and it has meant so much, and we just want you to know that you aren't alone, and that when you wrap that around you, you're not alone in so many ways, that God is with you, we're with you, your mom is with you, and no matter where you're at, you're never alone, and God really does have you in the palm of his hand, and we just want you to know that we're somebody here on this earth that is doing this just because we love you, and we know that we can make a difference, and all of us are better together, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. It means a lot to us.
Oh, well, we can't wait to meet you in person. Hey, Megan, is your mom there?
Yeah.
Hey, Megan, what was it like for you for your boys to receive something like this?
Oh. Man, so many things go through your head. You want to protect them from everything,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you do know. That's how this all got started. You want to protect them. You want to guide them. You want to be their everything. And sometimes you just can't, And in those moments that I can't reach them, or in the middle of the night, maybe they're thinking about something, or even during the day, I know they have something to hold on to, and I've even watched them grab something and know that somebody else is thinking about them, praying for them.
Right.
That's meant a whole lot in our hearts, and I think it's an integral part of the healing process, and especially with putting on the armor of God. I feel like those blankets can be a piece of that armor.
Oh, I totally agree with that. I love that viewpoint. I have not heard that yet, and I think that's amazing. And as part of getting this blanket, y'all became part of our community, and you have access to our prayer line in the morning. So boys, we just want you to know that even if you're not on the phone with us, we are absolutely praying for you. Each and every day, there's a huge group of us that are on the phone on a Zoom call live from 6:30 a.m. to 7, and that's what we're doing, is we're praying for the widows and the fatherless, and whatever comes to our mind and hearts, we're on it. So just know you are covered in prayer, okay?
Thank you.
Hey, I got permission from your mom, but I have a question for you. How would you like, we have a TV show now, and we're filming this live right now. How would you like this on our TV show, the first episode, and the TV show is called The Path to Healing Show? How would you like that?
That'd be great.
Well, I tell you what, it's a deal, and we're going to put you on that day. It's on Thanksgiving Day at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, and we will send you the details, but it's on the Now Network, and we'll get that to you right away, okay?
Okay.
All right, well, I'm sure you guys are getting ready for bed soon. I know it's a school night, and just go ahead and say what you need to say.
I hope you guys have a great and swell evening. God bless you guys.
God bless you too.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys have a good one, and we'll talk soon. Give us a call anytime you like, okay?
Okay.
All right, you guys. Thanks, Megan. Again, we love you and we appreciate you so much.
Oh, you bet. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Awesome.
That was the bomb. That's why we do this.
Tom, I have one more favor to ask.
Sure.
Would you be willing to pray over the fatherless?
I'll be glad to. It'd be an honor to. Thanks, Elijah. Grab my hand, man. And Father, thanks that you're a good God, and that you're a good daddy, and that you always want to show up and remind us of how much you love, care for us. Father, thanks that you have great affection for for young boys and girls, especially those who are fatherless. I pray for you today, and I bless you in the name of Jesus. And I just want to tell you today, it's okay to feel. It's okay to talk about that. I pray today that somebody's going to come into your life that you can talk about your feelings with, and who will just say, I don't understand, but I understand that you're feeling these things, and it's good. Those feelings are neither good nor bad. They just are. And I just release you today to feel the whole gamut of what you're feeling, and to continue to use your feelings to grow and think about who you're about to become. I bless your identity and your future, that you have a good future and a hope, because that's how God's made you to be. And I invite you, those of you who are watching today, I know Sandy and I are always looking for good ground to sow into. We're always looking for organizations who are doing great work and bring around transformation, restoration in people's lives. This is one of those. And we've sown into this place. We invite you to follow us and continue to do so, because we're gonna make a big difference in the lives of those millions of children in the name of Jesus. Yeah, James wrote, chapter 1, it's pure religion. All the rest of the stuff, is not such good religion. Pure religion is taking care of widows and orphans. And so we have a responsibility. We have a huge responsibility and opportunity to partner with God to make a difference in the lives of those people. So join us as we go about this and coming around Tracy and Elijah, and be a partner with us. And hey, thanks for having me on the show today. Mm-hmm. Good to be with you, man.
Good to be with you.
Thank you.
I want you to picture the day you get the call that either your husband or spouse has died. Or imagine you are a 6-year-old kid like Elijah, and one of the 2 most important people in life are no longer here. Everything changes in that moment. According to the Census Bureau, there are over 11 million widows and 19.1 million fatherless children just in this country. Research shows these families face poverty, obesity, bullying, abuse, and neglect, just to name a few. I truly believe God is asking you to unite with us around James 1:27 and help the widows and the fatherless, as Elijah and I travel in a fifth wheel around this country, partnering with Faith Based Equine Facilitators, broadcasting our program, setting up communities to support and help these families back to life. No gift is too small. We cannot do this alone. It takes money to be able to do what we do. Thank you in advance. Sponsor a widow or fatherless child with our blanket outreach program. Become a monthly partner. Give a one-time gift. You can either text to give, go online, or make checks payable to Elijah's Path to Healing Foundation at the address below. Thank you, and God bless.